we've had such a heavy week of news, so I thought, we'd wrap up things this week with some lighthearted news that's really going to put a smile on your face.
We're interrupting this package right now because we have some breaking news, and it is historic news out of Lower Manhattan right now. A federal jury, a grand jury, has voted to indict former President Trump. The first time ever that a former president has been criminally charged. That's right. Lady Justice grabbed Trump by the pussy. And I take a firm stance against mass incarceration, okay? But for this, I'm willing to make an exception. I just hope they take it easy on him and put him at least in a cell with his lawyer. But hey, let this be a lesson to all you kids out there, okay? If you commit fraud to cover up an affair with a porn star, the law will catch up to you after like 7 years and a full term as president. Now, I know we're all hoping to see him put in handcuffs, but we don't know how it's all going to go down. The report is that they're going to try to negotiate his surrender. Either that or they'll leave a trail of Big Macs leading to the prison. And, a lot of pundits, like Lindsey Graham, are saying this is going to be good for Trump. But why don't you get arrested and see if it's good for you? Shit. Anyway, we don't know when this will actually arrest him or how it's going to pan out. But hey, maybe going to prison might be good for Trump. It may be what he needs. Because at least in prison, he'll be able to pursue his greatest passions: reading, working out, and converting to Islam. We just had breaking news. Donald Trump has been voted to be indicted by a grand jury. First president to be indicted, former first president to be indicted. What are your thoughts?
Well, Donald Trump announced on Truth Social that he's been indicated rather than indicted. But,
of course. No spell check for the president.
He probably should have ChatGPT help him put together tweets, but I don't. Donald Trump.
I
know. Donald Trump has been a pathological liar and lawbreaker his whole life, and has gotten away with it.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he's a master of getting away with it, and finally he's facing the accountability he deserves. But
I know. I want to see that perp walk. I'm dying for that. That's the only thing I want to see.
But I will confess, of all the crimes that he's committed in his life, I never thought in my wildest dreams that he would be taken down by hush payments to a porn star. I mean, that's
right. True that.
So he's like the Al Capone of American politics.
Yeah, for real.
State of New York versus Donald J. Trump. Oh, Trumpy. Oh, Trumpy was indicted last week for paying a porn star hush money. Trump got to be mad. He paid all that hush money. Did nobody hush? It's messed up. It's in the word. Hush. Shh. But no affair has been less hushed than this one. Everybody know about this damn affair. There's uncontacted tribes in the Amazon who know that Trump boned Stormy Daniels. I do not know what a plane is, but I do know that Stormy Daniels spanked Trump with a magazine. Now, excuse me. Now, look. Now, if you notice, I did not do a native accent. I'm not trying to get canceled on my first date. Now, I am holding a spear, my bad, but I didn't do no accent. The point is, Trump has been indicted, and tomorrow, the circus is coming to town.
New York City this morning preparing to become the setting for an unprecedented legal and political drama as Donald Trump returns to face the criminal charges against him. Mr. Trump expected to face some 30 separate charges, the first ever filed against a former president, in an indictment handed up last Thursday, still secret and under seal until his arraignment. Mr. Trump's arraignment Tuesday will include being processed at the courthouse, with fingerprints and a DNA sample expected to be taken as well. But he likely won't be handcuffed, and Secret Service agents will protect him at every turn.
That's right. Trump's got to provide a DNA sample. Which, if you think about it, that's kind of how he got in this mess in the first place. The upside with Trump's DNA, now the NYPD could probably solve a bunch of cold cases from the 80s. Why are they arraigning him like he's a normal person? He ain't a normal person. Trump ain't a normal person. Normal people don't bring the Secret Service to get arrested. And to be honest, I kind of feel sorry for the Secret Service agents. How you get assigned to a former president, you're supposed to be going to baseball games and windsurfing. You get assigned to Trump, you gotta go to Rikers. You gotta take a shank for this man. You gotta taste test the toilet wine, make sure it ain't poison. You gotta dig the escape tunnel, then dump the dirt in a softball field. I'll never forget the day Donald Trump showed up on the yard with 6 Secret Service agents. He thought I was Ben Carson. My Morgan Freeman's terrible. I gotta work on it. But it's not all bad for old Trumpy. According to reports, he's already raised $5 million since the news dropped on Thursday. $5 million. This man is balling. $5 million. Do you know how many cigarettes that'll get you in prison? Honestly, this might be teaching this man the wrong lesson. Trump gonna start telling people to snitch on him for other crimes he did just so he can get that bag too. Trump will be the first man in history to pay unhush money. Going to jail might be the new way to fundraise if you're a politician. Hillary probably sitting around like, hell, $5 million, shit, maybe they should have locked me up. And Trump supporters aren't just supporting him with donations. They sound like they're ready to do whatever it takes to avenge him.
After Trump's indictment, some on social media called for war and said it's time for a real insurrection.
This thing opens up a whole Pandora's box here, and I don't really think the left understands what they're getting themselves into.
It almost feels like they're pushing the population to react. We think they're demoralized and passive. Let's see if they really are. Probably not the best time to give up your AR-15, and I think most people know that.
They are agitating for unrest. That's the only way to interpret this. I'm ready for whatever's next. And I hope every other man out there watching this show, I hope you're ready for whatever's next. If that's what they want, let's get to it.
Now look, I can't speak for all them other folks we just saw. But I'm gonna tell you this much, when a black man wearing a leather jacket, he ain't around. Okay. Doubt them other folks if you want, but do not doubt this man. Look at him looking like Blade's granddaddy. Probably got the sword right there under the damn seat. But you gotta give it up to these Trump supporters, man. You gotta give them credit. They talking about showing up to the courthouse knowing that the NYPD will be there. And the NYPD will be ready. Look, I don't know if you've seen the footage of the NYPD, but they whoop ass. They make the playoffs every year. But, the NYPD, they might not beat these MAGA protesters too bad. Cops might recognize some of them from doing January 6th together. But don't clap for the police going to January 6th. But as passionate as Republicans are, you got to give them credit. This case is being quarterbacked by a black district attorney, and not once have they called him the N-word. That's amazing. Excuse me one second. Hey there. I'm very proud of y'all. You're very angry about this, but at no point have you gone all the way to publicly using the N-word. And that's growth. And I want you to know that I see you and I see your progress, and that's just a little pat on the back from your old Uncle Roy. Now, to me, here's what's weird about the reaction from Trump supporters. They're getting ready for revenge for what Democrats did to Donald Trump, but they're also celebrating what Democrats did to Donald Trump because they think it'll help him win the election. So to help me break that down a little bit more on that, we turn to the homie Ronny Chieng. Ronny Chieng. How you doing, brother? Good to see you, Ronny. to see you, Ronny. Now, Ronny, can you believe that some people think getting arrested is actually going to help Trump?
Yeah, because they're right. Of course getting arrested is going to help Trump. You know how badass he's going to look when he walks into the Republican debates with a face tattoo? Now Trump's got street cred. You're black, you know what that is.
But, Ronny, jail is not an instant path to greatness. You know jail is not an instant path to greatness. You're an Asian. You're smarter than this.
Yeah, I am Asian, which is why I know Trump is going to be a martyr now. He'll be like the Nelson Mandela of the people who put Nelson Mandela in jail. Everyone thinks they want upstanding leaders, but what they really want are bad boys who don't give a f***. Bill Clinton got a blowjob in the Oval Office, and that's still the most popular thing he ever did.
No. That's not true. That's not true.
Oh, yeah? Well, name one other thing he did then.
He played saxophone on Arsenio Hall.
Yeah, well, that's just another form of blowing, okay? Face it, Roy. It's 2023. Being indicted now makes you a stronger candidate. It's like being a rapper or Martha Stewart, okay? In fact, I'm calling it. Trump is now the official front runner for president.
Don't say that. Don't say that. Don't say that.
I just said it on The Daily Show with Roy Wood Jr.
No, don't say with Roy Wood Jr. Just say The Daily Show.
The Daily Show with Roy Wood Jr. officially says that Donald Trump is now the lead candidate in the presidential race.
Seriously, that's your prediction. Trump wins, election over, already done.
Yeah, unless Joe Biden can also get indicted for something even crazier. I mean, I'm talking Hunter Biden crazy, okay? None of this classified documents bullshit. No one gives a f*** about documents, okay? No, I'm saying at the next cabinet meeting, Biden's got to beat Pete Buttigieg to death. How about this? How about this? He could steal a nuclear bomb and use it to beat Pete Buttigieg to death. You should give me a medal for saying that twice. Or Biden, do something else illegal, okay? Roy, you're black, okay? Name some crimes.
Grand Theft Auto, possession with intent to distribute, writing bad checks would be a great... Wait a minute, man. Don't make me suggest crimes for the president, man. You're saying in order to win, Biden has to fight fire with fire.
Yeah, exactly. That's a great pitch, okay? He should set the White House on fire, right? With Pete Buttigieg inside, okay? So Biden has to one-up Trump, okay? If Trump goes to prison, Biden has to go to solitary, get the death penalty, and then, just to be safe, go to hell, okay? So basically, whoever goes to hell first will win the election, because that's democracy, baby.
Okay. They gotta go to hell? They gotta go to hell? You make hell sound like a swing state.
Yeah, exactly. Hell is like Ohio, except not as bad.
Okay, that's enough. Ronny Chieng, everybody. Give it up for Ronny Chieng. Thank you, Ronny. Let's talk a little bit about the elephant in the room that just landed in New York City. Now, in Washington, what is your feeling right now with everything with the Trump indictment? How much do you think this indictment is going to paralyze bipartisanship on actually getting laws passed in the next year? Because Trump has a way of sucking the wind out of conversations.
Yeah, look, in the Senate, I don't think it's going to have much effect at all. You've heard Mitch McConnell stay eerily silent. But I think this is a moment in American history that is pretty significant. Look, I believe deeply in democratic principles. I believe in the idea of the rule of law. But we've had a nation that hasn't lived up to those principles all the time. As Brian Stevenson says, who's this death penalty defender, he says, we have a criminal justice system that treats you better if you're rich and guilty than if you're poor and innocent. Yeah. And so, for me, this is one of those tough moments. Donald Trump has flaunted the rule of law for a significant amount of his career and did it in a bullying way, whether it was lock her up or even the exonerated five, the Central Park Five, even after they were exonerated, failing to acknowledge that it was a travesty of justice. So I think that the Senate is going to be fine. There are going to be people trying to find compromise, get things done. But I do think this is one of those moments where there's a 34-count indictment that we have to wait and see what's in it. I think that there's a lot of rushing to assume partisan positions in this. As a guy who believes in democracy, believes in the rule of law, believes in due process, let's see what happens.
What are they saying behind closed doors? You being is there a cafeteria in the Senate? Do y'all have like a, what are they saying in the cafeteria? Like, man, you see that bullshit with the book?
Look, you forget this, but Trump has been on trial twice in the Senate, and he has had Republicans and Democrats. Both parties, people from both parties voted to convict him. We didn't have enough to meet the threshold for conviction. But there are a lot of folks on both sides of the aisle that think that this is a guy who has caused so much damage to our political system. He's really shaken the foundations of our democracy. Ideas about our democracy that we've taken for granted over the years, he has really threatened. Who would have thought that you'd be sitting there at your workplace and you'd be overrun by people storming the Capitol, waving the Confederate flag, having T-shirts celebrating the Holocaust.
Viking hats.
Yeah, and not to mention Viking hats and more. So this is a guy who has truly strained the very democracy of our nation, and we hope to hold him accountable for that. He's under investigation in multiple jurisdictions. This is a long thing to play out. I'm just one of these folks that came to Washington to focus on criminal justice reform, because we have this nation where we still have people, look, 1 out of every 3 incarcerated women on the planet Earth are in the United States of America. We incarcerate people at levels here that are outrageous. So he to me is not my central focus. I'm not going to let him tear me away from the important work we need to do in Washington right now.
All right. So we are here in New York City, and today was one for the history books, because when today began, we were preparing for the craziest day in New York since the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man came to town and busted a nut on the whole city. That wasn't marshmallows. But today was even crazier, because today was Trump arraignment day.
This is breaking news. In a remarkable chapter of American history, for the first time, a former president faced a judge in a criminal courtroom on charges he broke the law, and it happened right here in New York City.
Former President Trump pleads not guilty to 34 counts of falsifying business records related to hush money payments.
The photograph is stark and historic as we look at it. Donald Trump.
That's a man who looks like a defendant. The former president. I've seen that face not many times. He looks somber.
Look at you. Look at your ass now. They got your ass. Ain't so tough no more. Ain't so tough. You spend all that money talking shit about the judge, you talk shit about the DA, I'm gonna march in the courtroom and I'm gonna tell him, shut your ass up. Look at how sad Trump looks. My man looked like somebody told him his dog died or that Mike Pence is still alive. And you can talk all the shit you want, but I'm telling you, baby, the moment you in that courtroom, that shit get real. Trump's sitting there like, wow, y'all really gonna do this to me, huh? And he alone, ain't none of your boys around no more. You gave them all pardons. And everybody know you don't pardon all your partners. You gotta leave one in jail so you have somebody to talk to. And on top of all that, this how I know Trump did something. I don't know what he's guilty of, but he did something. Look at that outfit. First day of court, he in a suit that don't even fit. Why would you do that? Gwyneth Paltrow showed you the cheat code, boy. You got to dress like you don't give a You got to dress for court like you on your way to somewhere else. Look at Gwyneth Paltrow. You can't convict me. These glasses are Cartiers. Cartier, is that how you say it? I don't know. I can't afford nice glasses. So as you can imagine, it was a crazy day in New York. And the city was ready for anything. Barricades were laid out. Every police officer was on duty. Even Mayor Eric Adams said he might not go to the club tonight. Just in case y'all need him. Because he be in the club, he got to keep the phone on vibrate, but call him twice so he know it's an emergency. And the cops, I'll give the NYPD this. They were right to set up all the barricades. Trump supporters swarmed downtown Manhattan and filled the streets with red, white, and blue. It was like a Puerto Rican Day parade for people who want to deport Puerto Ricans. And to the police's credit, to their credit, they handled it perfectly. They kept everybody on both sides far enough apart so nobody got hurt, but close enough so they could still roast the shit out of each other. Yes, the classics. Don't nothing win an argument faster than a yo mama. It hit like a shit, yo mama. You lose, no matter what you say. Donald Trump is a political prisoner unfairly targeted by the criminal justice system. Your mama, bitch. That's how it hits you. You bleed out. But it was a crazy scene downtown. It was wild. And one of the people making it crazy was Marjorie Taylor Greene. Oh, Marjorie Taylor Greene. MTG swung down to the courthouse, double parked a broomstick, and took part in the festivities. And today she offered a defense of the president that I've never heard before.
President Trump is joining some of the most incredible people in history being arrested today. Nelson Mandela was arrested, served time in prison. Jesus was arrested.
Jesus. That's what I'm thinking too. Like, Jesus, what the hell is wrong with this lady? How you gonna compare Donald Trump to Jesus? First of all, Jesus walked on water. Donald Trump can barely walk on land. Now, the crazy thing about all of this today is that Donald Trump didn't even have to come to New York. He could have done the whole arraignment at the crib. Because apparently they gave him the option to be arraigned over Zoom. You know, like Nelson Mandela and Jesus. But I get it. I completely get why Trump didn't do it over Zoom. One, he'd have got on camera, they would have just found more classified documents in the background. Two, Trump wants publicity. Look at how he came out of Trump Tower this morning, giving the black power fist like a real political prisoner. He lives for shit like this. Hell, Trump liable to show up to court every day dancing on top of a car like Michael Jackson. Just time out. That document. And the media, what they do? They play right along with it, giving us wall-to-wall coverage, even when there was absolutely nothing to talk about.
I will turn to you and show you. He'll be coming out the side door of Trump Tower there. So there is a sense of anticipation that his movement is coming.
You can see some of the traffic heading northbound there. And I can't remember off the top of my head if Fifth Avenue is one way, right? It's northbound, I think. It goes south.
Goes south.
So that's not Fifth Avenue.
I checked Waze just before we came in. It showed that was the fastest route.
We expect him to enter through and I think that was just him. John and Jillian, did you guys just see the former president walk out, or is that just me?
There's Donald Trump right there. I'm sorry, Abby. We just saw Donald Trump.
Overhearing some radio traffic here. At any moment now, see the former president walk through those doors.
So there are many doors into the courtroom, and it's not just this one door. There are side doors, and there's a back door.
Photographer Evan Shumrak laser focused on that front door.
And many hallways that lead to each door.
If he does go through those doors, he will come by the camera.
A judge comes in a different door. A jury comes in even another door. A defendant who's incarcerated comes in a different door. The public comes in the main door. So there are many doors.
Okay. So let me get this straight. You're telling me the courthouse has multiple doors and different people come through different doors, and then those doors connect to other doors, and then those are all the doors. Hey, man, I'm learning so much about the legal system. Thank you, cable news. Now, there's doors. Buildings got doors and shit. You learn stuff. Now, here's what bothered me about today. I'll say this. Donald Trump deserves a fair trial, but I also want Trump to get the full American criminal justice experience, which is not what happened today. My man got to schedule his visit to the courthouse like he the cable man. Trump called the court. Hey, listen, I'll be down to the jail Tuesday between 10 and 2. Just make sure you get that. Then, once Trump got there were no handcuffs. There were no mug shots. There were no perp walks. Well, for Trump, it would be a perp waddle, but you understand. But, you know, that doesn't make the point. My point is, I'm disappointed because today shows you how humane our courts could be. So many people get dragged into this legal system, and it's humiliating. You get handcuffed, you get gawked at. You wait days, sometimes months for an arraignment. Then you go into a building through one of those many doors. You get to a room, they strip you naked, they spread your ass cheeks, they make you cough twice, which I never understood the second cough. Like the first cough I get, one cough is enough to know whether or not I got drugs in my booty. The second cough is for you. That's wrong. Am I sharing too much with y'all right now? I thought I could open up to y'all. Apparently not. My point is, for the sake of this country, I hope that Donald Trump gets a swift trial, but that doesn't mean he should get to use the TSA pre-check lane. But here's the good news. The New York investigation is just one of many into the former president, so we'll have plenty of other opportunities to get him arrested correctly. So Georgia, got plenty more opportunities. So, state of Georgia, if you're listening, when you finally get Donald Trump in your courtroom, make sure he coughs twice. As we saw, there are a lot of crazy characters down there at the Trump rally today. Now, if you look at this footage of Marjorie Taylor Greene, look at all these idiots with nothing better to do all day. Wait, zoom in on my man in the background right there. Oh my God, that's Jordan Klepper. What is that idiot doing down there? Klepper, that's a moron. He gonna get his ass whooped down there.
I'm right here, Roy.
Oh, Jordan Klepper, everybody. Hello.
Good to see you.
I didn't mean none of that.
I'm here.
I didn't mean none of that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm happy you were down there today, Jordan Klepper. As the old saying goes, better you than me. What was it like down there?
You know, it was pretty chill. A respectful crowd who quietly showed their support for American jurisprudence.
I've seen the footage, and I know that you're with me.
I'm with you, Roy. I am. It was a shit show. And I got a front row seat to take a big old whiff. Take a look. I went downtown to watch Trump's historic arrest and the surrounding media circus. But I was curious how hometown boy Donald Trump would be greeted by regular New Yorkers.
Donald Trump, like, Jesus Christ, what more is there to say?
Trump's a dick! Yes, he is! Trump's a dick! Yes, he is! Trump's a dick! Yes, he is! Donald Trump, lock him up, nail the motherfucker, and get his...
Now, there were real diehard MAGA folk, but also appearing were some of the most respected and articulate members of the Republican Party.
Marjorie, are you afraid Trump will be mistreated by the gazpacho police?
Yes, the rising stars of the GOP came out in force.
If anybody can get Donald Trump off today, it's America's lead defense attorney, George Santos, who is a Harvard Law and Stanford Law.
Are you finally bringing legitimacy to this process? That's why we didn't do video.
Are you finally bringing legitimacy to this process, George?
Just tell us,
George, can you talk to us about your volleyball career? Talk to me about your law degree. Which law degrees have you gotten that you are bringing here to this?
I showed up.
As first president of the United States, do you feel that you can actually handle the jurisprudence that's going on? George, talk to me about your volleyball, George.
After a productive conversation like that, I feel good about our nation's future.
Jordan, if nobody else has done it, Jordan, I want to thank you for all that you've done because I know it takes a lot out of you.
You know, Roy, I appreciate that. I'm looking forward to a nice rest.
No, you got to go back down there and get some more. We need some more of this shit for tomorrow.
Okay. You're the boss for this week.
Jordan Klepper, everybody. But now, let's move on to the big story. The arrest of Donald J. Trump. Oh, you heard about it. Y'all heard about it? Okay, I thought it was just a little Yesterday was a momentous day for Donald J. Trump. He was indicted for 34 counts of falsifying business records and also 1 count of clogging the courthouse toilet. They added that one at the last minute. So old Trumpy went down to the courthouse, looked around stupid for a couple of minutes, and then fled on his private jet to Florida because, as you all know, Florida does not have an extradition treaty with the United States. He rolled up to Mar-a-Lago, and then he waved to his supporters and then offered to put his thumb up their butt. What is this? Seriously. Who adds motion to a thumbs up? It's simple. Just lock the elbow. Trump got to be the first person to add the jerk-off motion to a thumbs up. Thanks so much for coming out. I really appreciate it. So then, after all of that, it was time for Trump to give his big speech. And sidebar, why are people still going to Trump speeches? Like, I get it, that's your dude, but you know what he gonna say. He said Donald Trump is a comedian that ain't changed his act in years. You know what he gonna do. Liberal media be doing this, and Joe Biden and them, they be doing this. Y'all know I ain't lying. Come on now, DJ, kick it. The only thing that changes year to year with Trump is who his enemy is. And for this fight, he's got 2 new ones.
In a defiant speech at Mar-a-Lago, the former president claimed he's a victim and targeted the prosecutor and judge in the case.
They can't beat us at the ballot box, so they try and beat us through the law. The criminal is the district attorney. I have a Trump-hating judge with a Trump-hating wife and family.
Who you know go to trial and talk shit about the judge? That's bold. The judge could destroy you. He could destroy you and you riling him up. You about to fight Cocaine Bear. You don't offer him crack first. And he didn't just call out the judge. Trump called out the kids. You don't pull the kids into, even rappers don't go after the kids and they murder each other. And Trump said the man has a Trump-hating wife. But to be fair, I don't even know if that was an insult, because Donald Trump also has a Trump-hating wife. You know, you can't tell me Melania don't hate that man. If anything, this week was confirmation. If y'all think, let me ask you this then. During Donald Trump's 45 minutes as a political prisoner, where was his wife?
Many people noticed the former First Lady, the former president's wife, Melania Trump, was not in attendance last night.
His wife, former First Lady Melania Trump, she was not there.
Among the guests were ardent Trump supporters, including Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene and the My Pillow founder, Mike Lindell. One person noticeably absent last night was former First Lady Melania Trump.
Even the pillow salesman showed up for the speech. But his own wife didn't show up. And the speech was at the house. Melania didn't even come downstairs. She opened up the bedroom door. Oh, you're back from prison already. Oh. Now look, we're making jokes. But there's nothing funny about a former First Lady not showing up to her husband's speech where he's complaining about getting arrested for lying about paying off a porn star. Frankly, I'm concerned about Melania's whereabouts, so we launched a search for her, and that search is being headed by our very own Dulcé Sloan. Dulcé! Dulcé? Now, Dulcé, you're in Florida. Dulcé. Yes, we are very poor, Dulcé.
Now, I mean working.
You down there on the coast, are there any signs of Melania down there?
Oh, not yet. You know, I've been looking for her at the beach all day. And after this, I'm going to look for her at brunch. And then I might go look for her at the front row of a Magic Mike show. You know, I'm vigilant. You know, vigilancy out here.
Ain't the Magic Mike show in Las Vegas? I think you're taking advantage of the corporate expense account. We'll talk about that later. But first, let's just, while I got you, let's just talk about this whole thing. Don't you think that Melania should leave Donald Trump? I mean, the man was paying hush money to porn stars.
Roy. You don't understand, son. The hush money was for Melania. She's the reason he didn't want people to know about Stormy Daniels. Shit, if he wasn't married, his campaign slogan would have been, porn stars. But for Melania, he paid a porn star $130,000. Oh, to know a love like that. Oh.
Okay.
You know, I mean, it's kind of romantic for a man to just break bread like that for you.
Okay, I got you. So then you think Melania should stay with Donald?
No. He cheated on her with a porn star. Come on. I've dumped men for a lot less. I broke up with a guy last week because he left me a voicemail. A voicemail, sir? What year do you think this is? Just leave a comment on my TikTok like an adult, Grandpa.
Okay, so I see what you're saying. So then you think Melania should have dumped Trump back in 2016? Gotcha.
Oh, hell no. Listen, Uncle Roy, are you listening? Why would she dump him when he just got elected El Presidente? You cheat on me, you think I'm gonna let some porn star be the first lady? What the hell? No. Nah, bitch, I'm getting a portrait, okay? A real one with paint and shit, okay?
Okay.
I'm talking about a canvas, an easel, and we're gonna sit there for 7 hours and look happy, damn it.
Okay. You're going every which way then, Dulcé. Just tell me, what the hell should Melania do then?
She should be doing what she's been doing. Take advantage of Trump when he's president, and when he's not, let his ass twist in the wind while you at home watching Martin reruns and banging these pool boys.
Okay.
I mean, she's doing it at Mar-a-Lago right now.
Wait, so you know where she is? Well, then why are you running up an expense account on my week?
What?
This is my week hosting, and you running up the bill with all this travel. Come on.
Wow, this is how you treat a black woman?
That's not
April?
No, that's not how I meant it.
Black Women's History Month?
No. That's not how I meant it.
Wow.
That's not how I meant it.
Wow.
That's not how. No.
I should be out here with a Telfar bag and Morris Chestnut, and you out here trying to act like I'm not doing my job. You know what? I'm gonna get on my jet ski. I ain't got to do with you. I ain't got to do none of this. Where my jet ski?
Dulcé Sloan, everybody.